Who could have foreseen that the same people responsible for Puddlegate are once again mad at the people working on the game they built their entire identities around? Well, that's what we're here to talk about. The outrage to the lack of content and hype for Marvel's Spider-Man 2, which is coming at us later this year. So people from Insomniac Games officially had to step in and respond to what I can only describe as very toxic messages and replies on their social media posts, or sometimes even directly on the people's personal accounts on various different websites, which is just absolutely disgusting. And a lot of this is, from fans, and I really hesitate to use that because Spider-Man fans would not harass people, but I guess you take it for what it is. So I guess fans, and I put fans in quotation marks, are getting very impatient because Marvel's Spider-Man is due out sometime later this year. It could get delayed slightly, but they're saying it's definitely by the end of the year. So of course that gives us months from now to get to the actual release date, and we haven't had, giant amounts of content dumped on us. And a lot of people are upset and they want answers. So they're going after people working on this game, so they were forced to respond by saying, look, we want to make sure that when we come out with anything, that it's perfect, that it matches the quality we're going for, and that the fans know what they're getting. AKA, they don't want to make empty promises. They want to deliver a game that can live up to its first showing. How many times have we seen a game revealed years, sometimes even in the same year, like 10, 11 months ahead of its release, and it looks amazing. We get to the end product, and guess what? It doesn't look as good because it was still something that had to be developed, that had to go through further iterations, that had to go through substantial changes to get to its final version. Remember, you only got one chance to make a first impression. Do you want your first gameplay of Marvel's Spider-Man 2 to be something that doesn't live up to what you've built up in your head? Or do you want it to be something that is honestly a far cry from what you might get in the final product, whether it's shadows or the resolution or the frame rate or whatever, right? Like, how many times in the last year and a half, 2 years, have we seen countless games show up and show us trailers and release footage that's 60 frames a second? And we're like, all right, yeah, man, Redfall looks great, 60 frames a second, all right. Yeah, that's gonna be 30 on launch? Sorry. Like, what? Oh, you were showing us the PC version the entire time. That's convenient, while claiming it was Series X. See, do you guys want that? Like, I don't. I want these developers to focus on developing a game that I trust will be great because they've released 2 Spider-Man games and a Ratchet & Clank game in a span of, handful of years, and they've all been absolute masterpieces. So I trust them. I want them to reveal it on their own time. And also, you know what sounds way better than that? Than getting something right now that might not resemble the end product? Getting a gameplay reveal, let's say in June, and it's like a 10-minute extended gameplay, which is accompanied by a trailer that states, available to pre-order now, and here's your collector's edition. Oh, and also the game is out in less than 90 days. You got less than 3 months. We start the marketing cycle now. And then the hype doesn't stop. Just imagine if they synergize it with the upcoming Spider-Verse right around that release, which makes sense because that's when E3 is typically expected. And also, then they capitalize on this fall a new Spider-Man related film. They got everything lined up. Internally, they know what they're doing. And just because you think that you deserve it, or that they don't know what they're doing, because you feel somehow that you need to get vindicated with footage, doesn't mean you're right. When has Insomniac failed us? When? Been a fan of theirs since PS1. Never once have they let me down.